Welcome back, everybody, to Nerdrotic Live, and we will be covering the latest episode of Unidentified and Ancient Aliens. Kind of wrap them up into one live recap slash review. It is late here in San Francisco. It's 12:43 a.m. What a great time to be covering this subject matter. Now, we're going to go over Ancient Aliens. That'll be kind of the shortest part of this because it seems like in 14 seasons, they seem to be stretching a little bit. And they did an entire episode based on the Badlands Guardian. Now, the Badlands Guardian is certainly cool. It is a geographic anomaly that looks like a dude. And what seems to back up, okay, so Ancient Aliens is what asks the question, is it man-made? And while I would not put it out of the realm of possibility, weirder things have happened, I'm not quite sure. But what really sells me on the possibility, I mean, we're talking small percentage of possibility that this is man-made, is its orientation. I find that very curious because if we back up on our lovely home planet Earth, let me get to that real quick. If we back up a little bit, look at the orientation. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in on the orientation of it. And the head is straight up, like you are looking at the planet, you know, with the North Pole up at the north. And, you know, it could have been positioned any way possible. And its orientation is that. That's pretty incredible. So there is a lot of nature, a lot of coincidences of nature had to happen for the headdress to look like feathers, the profile to look like a man, and to have secondary stuff like eyelids, nostrils, lips. Now, they mentioned it's missing an ear, but if you look really close, that little white spot right there, I guess they found some oil or gas or something, and they cordoned it off a little bit. You can't, it's too blurry, but you can kind of see something right there. So I'm going to say maybe that definitely looks like feathers up on the top. It's supposed to show a medicine man, possibility of elongated skull. They did a 3D model, which I thought was very interesting. But that's pretty fascinating, and it really does stand out. When I first saw this, I remember when it hit the scene. Look, you can see eyelids, nostril, lips. I thought it was fake. I thought it was fake, but that sucker's real. It's got a road going up to this. This thing is thousands of feet long. I mean, it is ginormous. So very interesting. And then, of course, they went into the face on Mars. They also showed the geoglyphs that are near me, well, kind of near me, down in Southern California, in Blythe, California, that I honestly didn't know they were there. Nobody, I have never heard of these things, and I'm going to go check them out. My next trip down to SoCal, I'm going to go check them out. So I thought that was very interesting. The one thing they did not bring up, which they brought up crop circles towards the end, and yeah, I would. Here, I think I may have a weirder theory on what this is. Earth memory. That's something we can get into on the Exo Zone someday. The Earth is an old place. There's been crust displacement. Part of our crust sinks into the ocean every day. Gets ground up, and civilizations could have risen and fallen, and we would not know about it at all. We know very little about our history. I was just watching another YouTuber who I won't talk about because I guess we're all supposed to be on a don't pick on other YouTubers thing, which I'll stick with, so he'll remain nameless. And he was talking about a completely different subject, but he was rattling on about science, but not showing any citations. And it's certainly something you have to do if you rattle off science. I'm not going to rattle off any science here. I don't know. I just have theories. Many of them I thought of while I was tripping balls on acid and shrooms. So I wouldn't call that science. The science of the third eye. So, what I want to show you guys here, I'll get on the camera now. What's up, everybody? Hi. A little ASMR voice here is I want to look up not the crop circle, but what was in a dry lake bed in Oregon back in 1990. Uh, uh, yes, this. That is, this is what convinced me that crop circles just aren't. Some of them are absolutely man-made, no doubt about it. And some of them we don't know. I don't know how a dude could have made something 13 miles long that you had to dig in the hard earth to make that. And it was an Air Force flight, I believe, or Navy flight or Marine flight. I don't know. Some military flew over and found this back in 1990. It does not exist anymore. I have checked. I know where it is on Google Maps. That one's pretty cool. That one's pretty cool. Now, is it aliens trying to contact us? Actually, you could back up that using geometry to try to communicate is pretty interesting. It looks like art, but it also, this is a God, I can't remember if it's from India. It is a symbol. It is a earthly symbol, but I can't remember which one it was, to be honest with you. But if humans did do it, then they went out there for weeks and made it, and certainly they could have made it. Yeah, there it is. It's crop circle center, Alfred Desert, Sri Yantra. It's a Sri Yantra. That's what it's called. So yeah, they centered an entire episode around that and really didn't go into crop circles much. Went into the face on Mars again, did some 3D modeling. I thought it was very interesting. But yeah, it's kind of it's kind of a stretch episode. I think Ancient Aliens should probably keep their title of Ancient Aliens and not have to feel like they have to do every episode on Ancient Aliens. And I know they don't. They actually started out on Antarctica, which was a great episode, by the way. But I thought it was kind of a stretch episode, to be honest with you. But it's weird. It's weird, and I love weird and unexplained. And it's really tough to explain nature creating that. The erosion patterns and stuff are crazy. That is also in the area where there was miles of ice before that. So, you know, I don't know if there was actually glaciers in that one area, but most of northern Canada or Canada and North America were covered in ginormous ice sheets 12,000 years ago that quite possibly could have melted practically overnight due to a comet impact. And then, and if I spoken, I'm sure I've spoken to you guys about why that theory gets so much clapback, because you would think that's not a crazy theory. I don't think that's a wacky theory at all, that the Ice Age, the Younger Dryas, which did end abruptly, begin abruptly, and then end abruptly again, could have been due to cataclysm. You want to know why it gets clapback? Environmentalism, climate change. That's why it gets clapback. Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock get called climate change deniers, like it's some form of religion. Like all the science has been 100% settled on that, which it hasn't. It doesn't mean, and I'll use Graham Hancock's, I'll paraphrase his words, it doesn't mean we should start throwing trash outside of our window and use petrol engines all the time. No, absolutely. We need to change. We need to clean up the air. I just drove through LA. It looked like shit. It looked like Blade Runner. But are we all going to die in 10 years? No, we're not. Not unless a meteor comes down. Then we might. But yeah, that certainly isn't settled. But that's why they get clapback on that, which is incredible, because it's become kind of a political dogma, you know, and and science is about, you know, entertaining theories, not entertaining, but studying theories. So yeah, interesting episode, I thought, but Unidentified was great. So if you've watched the Nimitz Encounters YouTube channel, there was a little bit of repeated information. They spoke to the radar operator. Now, everybody they've spoken to so far on this show is a trained observer. These are military that had one point, and I'm quoting the Nimitz Encounters documentary, that they all signed NDAs. So the government is behind this release of information. They are allowing this to happen. They are allowing people to talk. And even when these people are allowed to talk, not all of them are talking. They even spoke about a sonar operator on one of the submarines who encountered this, doesn't want to talk about it and doesn't want to be contacted about it anymore. So there's something strange. Now, I thought it was very strange, and they only passively talked about the radar operator lives in the freaking boonies, like as far away as you can get from humanity. Why? Now, some people just like to live out there, and some people might be wanting to avoid any danger. So I don't know what's going on, but Doomcock and I behind the scenes have spoken about this a lot. Why are we hearing this information now? Because it's pretty damn convincing. And this episode, it's called Raining UFOs. Over 100 were spotted over Catalina Island, moving south towards Ensenada. This is all near where I live. And I was very excited to see that To the Stars Academy is in my hometown of Encinitas. You don't often see Encinitas on anything. It's a little beach town. Well, it's not little. It's got 50 or 60,000 people in it. But when I grew up down there, there was like 10,000 people in it, and that wasn't that long ago. But it's a beautiful, beautiful place. Great place to grow up. Wish I could live there now, but can't. So, but it was cool to see my hometown represented there. Good old Encinitas. If you're ever in San Diego, visit it. You won't regret it. It's a paradise. It's beautiful beaches. Food is good. People are nice. And the weather is perfect. Even in summer, it's like 75 degrees pretty much every day. So they talked to the radar operator and had a conversation with them, and he told the story again. And it was 4 days they were noticing these things while they were on their training run, and the radar operator had to convince the captain to intercept, which he finally did. Turns out they didn't talk about it much in the episode, but the captain knew about this and took some convincing. They intercepted the Tic Tac, and they repeated some of the stuff from last episode. But the new information we got from this episode is we got somebody who corroborated the radar technician. They've got another radar technician to say, yep, this happened, because they had no data, because the data just disappeared. We found out how the data disappeared. And this was actually in the Nimitz encounter documentary as well. As somebody came in on a helicopter out there in the ocean 100 miles southwest of San Diego and took the radar data away. But now we're talking about this. Now this is years later. We're talking what, in 2004, 15 years ago. And yeah, now we're talking about it. The new information we got is the longitude and latitude, the coordinates of where the UFOs went. Now, they didn't just fly off the radar. They went down south towards Ensenada and went down into the ocean. They need to check this place out. They also checked out Catalina Island. And what they didn't talk about with Catalina Island is there is a lot of UFO sightings near Catalina Island. Like, I've been hearing about that since I was a kid. Now you can see on a clear day, you can see Catalina Island from my hometown, and there's always been weird stuff going on around Catalina Island. They will never mention in this episode, it's also a place where there might have been giants at one time. Yes, look into that. They actually, the hunt for the giants or whatever, that show was on History Channel. They went to Catalina Island. Yeah, it's a bizarre place. There's also the I'm forgetting it now, the California wine mixer from Step Brothers, the fucking California wine mixer, whatever the hell it was called. So yeah, I thought that was very interesting. They did talk about that there's a lot of sightings there. There's tons of sightings in LA, and the reason more sightings are not reported from Southern California. Well, somebody's in the kitchen. I was like, who's up? The reason there isn't more sightings reported these days is because there's planes in the air all the time, helicopters in the air all the time. So it's hard to separate one from, plus drones everywhere. So, but San Diego, that's the one place I never saw a UFO, but I did see the green flash. And this wasn't like the green flash of dawn that you sometimes get when the sun comes over the horizon. There's like a little flash. No, this was a straight up green fluorescent. It looked like flattened out vector graphics in the sky that covered the entire sky on a clear night, by the way, that I saw a couple times. So yeah, weird stuff happens there all the time. But I think Bird of Prey 5 had mentioned in a live stream earlier that he is more convinced now than the Phoenix Lights, and I think this becomes the most compelling UFO case of all time. We recently had a big document dump that Richard Dolan did a live stream on, but he took so long to get to the point in that live stream. I love Richard Dolan, but I keep falling asleep because I listen to it while I fall asleep. I keep falling asleep before he gets to the actual data, but go check out that live stream, or I'll link it in the description. Came out a couple days ago, a huge document dump from 1995, pretty much confirming. It doesn't talk about any sightings per se, but it talks about the government actively working on crashed non-terrestrial craft. So documental confirmation. And Richard Dolan seems to think it's a huge deal. And no, people need to go through it. They're still going through it. So there's not a lot of details yet, but there will be. I'm curious to see where they go with the show with Unidentified. I'm definitely into it. I know the Pentagon came out and said Lou Elizondo, is that his name, didn't work for them. Of course, they're going to say that. They also said Bob Lazar, didn't work at Area 51 either. And then they later proved that. So let's get to the chat here. A ghost from Tijuana. Well, Jose, Luis, there's lots of ghosts in Tijuana. I've been there. There's a lot of skeletons in my closet from Tijuana too. A lot of skeletons in my closet. So greetings, everybody. Chris Saint and Thunder Dick and Frederick Bismarck and Burnt Umbrage and Dr. Beast Hunter RX7FD9782. That's what is that supposed to mean? Something? Al Bundy's here. Peg. Logan Michael, Anti Funko Pops. What is up? Good to see you all. Yeah, it's late. I ended up I went down a rabbit hole on YouTube and watched a bunch of videos before I watched the episode. So that's why it's so late. And this one can't be super long. But it sounds like the wife is up. What's up, Feisty fan? How's it going? Long time no see. The Babylon Talmud, about 2,000 years old, talks about, am I saying that right? The Talmud, the Babylonian Talmud, about 2,000 years old, talks about large land masses being made from remains of pre-human titans. Oh. That's interesting. That's interesting. Doctored photos, Dr. Venkman. I thought you wanted to believe me. I thought you wanted to believe me. You said it in your ad, dude. Back off, man. I'm a scientist. No, it's not a doctored photo. Either of those are not doctored photos. I certainly thought it was, but no, I found that on Google Earth. I can give you guys. Well, I can give you guys the link. Let me, if I can find it. There we go. Hang on. This is the link to the make sure that works. Yep. Okay, that works. Good. That'll take you right there. Forgive me, but you have seen my super chat and that from other people. Yes, I haven't, Brother Malachi. I have yet to get to the super chats yet. I'm still in the opening crawl of this. But I will get to it in just a second. Yeah. Just started getting down to them. Cleve Bourbon for $2. Thank you again for the $4.99. Svi Lebetkin. I appreciate it. Cleve Bourbon for $2. Excuse me. This alien, Mrs. Peanut walked F it. I'm too tired. What are you doing up if you're too tired? Cleve. Brother Malachi, $5. I'm glad I helped get your attention to this new show. Sorry if I'm sounding a bit too egotistical. Yeah, I knew about this show, Brother Malachi. I talked about it on my contact live streams, which I did over the weekend while I was at Contact in the Desert. Yeah, I was waiting for this one. I knew for quite some time it was coming out. Sorry, didn't mean to burst your bubble there, buddy. But yeah, I'm on top of this stuff. I am on top of the UFO stuff, pretty hardcore. But thank you for the $5. I appreciate it. And I'm glad that you reminded me about it. How's that sound? Silhouetted animator for $10. My mom didn't even believe in aliens until around 2006 when she was driving one night and heard what sounded like a rhyme or a echo beeping. Echo beeping. She looked out and saw a UFO less than a mile above her. Wow. Did she get any pictures? I want to see a UFO. I really do. Oh, it's all right, Brother Malachi. It's all good. No worries. We chilling, man. Can't sleep. Yeah. It's too freaking hot. I can't sleep either. It's bloody hot. And it's a different heat when it's here in the city. Because I grew up in San Diego, I'm used to heat, but there's no air conditioning here in San Francisco because we don't need it because it gets hot 2 days a year. They just happen to be 2 days in a row. 2 days in a row. It's all good, Brother Malachi. Don't even worry about it, man. So yeah, I'm trying to do coast to coast a little bit here. We got the ghost of Art Bell with us. And unlike the Coast to Coast AM show that never mentions him except when they want to replay one of his shows and get some money, I try to do this in the spirit of Art Bell, who was the greatest interviewer of all time and kind of my voice of the 90s. I listened to that guy every night from 1993 till through all his retirements. He did 3 retirements in the 90s. And looked forward to it every night, stayed up till 2 a.m. every night, listening to every single episode. I think I have all of them backed up. I don't have all of his serious radio stuff, but I have all of his stuff on a hard drive. And I listen to it. I miss him. Talks about ghosts in the presence of a Ghostbuster. That's right. I love how they make these rat traps that look like the ghost traps from Ghostbusters. I mean, it's bad for the raps. How come no Doomcock and an official Exo Zone? Terry B, this is not an official Exo Zone, or Doomcock would be here. But because Doomcock is traveling right now. He is, when you conquer the Earth, sometimes you have to walk it. And he's walking the Earth, surveying, making battle plans, and going to visit leaders who plan to submit freely without battle. I think he's just trying to get some people to bend the knee a little bit early. I think it's I think it's good. I think it's good to get that out of the way. You don't want to waste your resources. You only have so many robots to conquer the Earth. But I did speak with him today, and it looks like we're gonna have an exclusive. We're gonna have an exclusive, and I can't wait to tell you guys about it. Hopefully next week. Calla Lily from California. Art Bell, I'm old enough that I listened live. Yeah, Calla, me too. Art Bell was brilliant. Doomcock is storming the HBO territories. Yes. Although I guess I'm going to have to watch Chernobyl somehow. Everybody's telling me to watch Chernobyl. Yes, an Exo Zone exclusive next week. Jofran Frohead says, I am curious, Gary, why do you do Contact, but it is taking so long to do an Exo Zone? I thought Exo Zone was in the spirit of Art Bell. As you do Contact, everyone will ask about the Exo Zone. Yes. Well, the Exo Zone has to be done with Doomcock, and we have to align our schedules, and he has not been able to commit to a date yet because of his schedule, because of his real life stuff. His real life stuff takes priority right now. I can't go into it, but just trust us. We want to do one really bad, but it's just a matter of when and how. They're going to be during the day. They're definitely going to be during the day because I can only do so many live streams at night. And we're doing the Inquisition now, and I'm even going to like Friday Night Tights is going to get moved on from now on nights. I do the Inquisition. Friday Night Tights is going to be moved to noon or possibly because it's because well, my family's home at night, so I try not to live stream too much at night anymore. But yeah, I'm good. I'm schedule wise. I'm good. I can go. We're aiming for a Tuesday or a Thursday for Exo Zone, and then we'll do it weekly. But we definitely love that you're interested and we want to get back to it. So, but yeah, I'm sorry it's taken so long. But some things are out of my control. But I did give you live streams with me. I gave you 3 live streams over the weekend, and I'm doing this, and I'm going to be doing these whenever I can. So, my mom was driving home one night, and a UFO followed her into town. When she got home, my sisters came running in, scared from a light chasing them. Really? What is up with all the UFOs chasing moms? I wonder. I wonder. Was it around Mother's Day? Thank you for the $5. Yeah, that's freaky. That's freaky. I'm the kind of idiot who would run towards a UFO. Such a shame that we as modern people mostly do not know a night sky without a city's light noise. I know, like spilt water on an original manuscript, North American Hamrammer for $5, who was formerly North American Vikinger. Yes, I totally agree. It sucks where I live. I can't see the sky, and the one thing I did like about living in Escondido was you could see the sky. And I had my telescope, and I would go out there in the middle of the night and look at the stars like all night. Yeah, it's terrible. And think of all the things we're missing. That's why I love the desert. That's why I love the desert. Manic, thank you for the $5. NAH. Manic Boy Productions, Canadian, $3.99. Hey, dude, this impromptu insight stream is amazing. Wow, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I love talking about this stuff. I think it's amazing, and I think what I really love about Identified and Ancient Aliens and what it's done, because it is survived the scorn, and now people are actually taking it seriously, and it usually comes from the side that calls the other side scornful for not taking things seriously and being open-minded. But it truly shows these days how things have changed, how the closed-minded has changed sides. And I certainly think this is an issue that I take seriously. And if you look at unidentified, it takes it very seriously. You have very serious people who worked in with the CIA, people who worked with skunk works. Like, these are no joke. These are real people, serious people who did very serious things for the government and say things, and there's things they can't talk about. And they're taking this seriously because it's a very serious matter. This is not a matter of belief. The Tic Tac event happened. There are craft. This is, to me, I wasn't there, but I have enough proof. For me, there was trained observers, military observers, multiple. I mean, more and more come out every day who saw the same thing and tell the same story. It happened. So we need to internalize that and accept it, that there is there is multiple 40-foot long tic tac shaped ships, craft that defy physics, that can go 37,000 miles an hour without breaking the speed, without a sonic boom. 30 times the speed of sound, no sonic boom. That's breaking physics as we know it. So that just shows you we're, basically still, monkeys who can do math. Um, so this is if this is okay, it's one of three things, and I've said this before. It is our stuff, and the reason I completely discount that is the reason they discount it in the show, because no matter how secretive our government can be, they wouldn't fuck around with our military like that. They wouldn't spook our military like that. And if they did, uh, there would be a war between branches. Trust me, that would not literally, for lack of a better term, fly at all. So it's not us. It's our adversaries or an ally, as they say, which is terribly disturbing because, as that radar tech said in the show, if that is not a friendly, we are totally screwed because there's no way to fight it if it wants to fight us. Now, he said it certainly looked like they wanted to be left alone. They were avoiding the aircraft, but then they would buzz them to tell them to get the hell out of there. So I don't know if there is a being inside these things or they're just drones. Okay. So the third thing is they are from an alien civilization that is they're basically gods compared to us. They're gods. So they can come down and enslave us at will anytime. And we could do nothing about it except maybe commit suicide. That's about it. And that's a scary, scary prospect and that's why most of the really, I call a radical non-belief when it comes to UFOs. People just get angry about it. They scorn you. They shame you. They scoff at you. I mean, just all of it. And why? Because it's fear-based. Because it just doesn't get into they can't compute the data from that. They just don't want to believe. It's an actively they actively do not want to believe because it would upset a lot of belief systems. And the belief before was it would upset a lot of religious belief systems. But as time goes by, I think it would disrupt the scientific belief system just as much. You talk about the dogma of religion, the dogma of science would freak the F out because they would all have to go back to the drawing board, especially when it comes to physics. That's why there's so much clapback in archaeology and geology when it comes to uh, pretty much what ancient aliens started. Whether you believe in ancient aliens or not, I think they have presented a very good case that there probably was a very advanced civilization deep into our past that has been wiped out and something happened. And again, archaeologists and geologists and a lot of ologists would have to go back to the drawing board. I think that's exciting, but a lot of people don't. I think it would be really exciting to go, whoa, we were wrong and things are older and this is exciting and new things to study. No, no, no. Because people are still people and they have egos and they're wrapped up into this and they have their identity wrapped up into their pieces of paper that they went to school after, very studiously regurgitating a bunch of knowledge from a book. And yeah, that's what we have to deal with. Michael Rozowski for 25 PLNs. Hi, Gary. Did you read my mail regarding U.S. Navy patient flying saucer-like vessel? I got it. I did not read it. It is marked for me to read. I will check it out. Thank you for sending it. I greatly appreciate it. Let's see. Oh, I'm not logged into a different account, but let's see if I can find it. I won't read it out loud. I'll skim it. Let's see if I can log in to that email while I'm logged. No, I better not. Let's see if you're on this one then. No, I'm gonna have to log in the other mail. I'm sorry about that, but I'll read it after the show. Okay, thank you for sending it to me. And please send me that stuff. And I can if it's good, I'll use it in the Exo Zone. We'll use it in the next Exo Zone, which will be within a week. Thank you. Thank you again. All out of bubblegum, $10. During the 90s, my brother told me that a ball of light was followed by tribal and county sheriffs down the Clearwater River in Idaho. It made the news. Someone might look that up. During the 90s, Clearwater, Idaho UFO. We'll say it's Clearwater, Idaho UFO. Boise. No Clearwater. No Clearwater. Credence Clearwater Revival pops up. No, they talk about some UFO. They talk about top 10 for organization. 42 UFOs reported in Idaho in 2018. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Gary, mind if I send you a link via Twitter DM? Has some really cool alien witness sketches. Yeah, shoot it on the DM. Sure. I will look for it. I will look for it. uh, 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 All right, I'm popping up with a link right now. Drawings and pictures. Yeah, we'll share this. This is pretty cool. I want to keep my Google Earth thing up. So let's take a look. Thanks for sending me that. That is cool. Yeah. I remember the first time I heard Art Bell, and it was actually I stopped sharing it for some reason. It was in the very late 80s. It was 89. And he had a government witness on, and he dropped all the aliens we had been contacted with, like one called the Red, the tall blondes, the grays. So here we go. That thing keeps going. There we go. Okay. So this drawing, the pictures represent different aliens living on different planets and different nature planes on the energy dimension, different dimensional frequency levels. The drawings are mostly based on channelings. So we have the famous gray that is from Whitley Strieber, I believe. God dang it. The thing is so far to the left that it keeps getting covered with my, there's a little pop out that makes it impossible for me to click on any of this. Hang on, there we go. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so that's the Whitley Strieber alien gray. And then what's this? Channel drawing of alien from another planet. Well, there's no specific. Wow. Handsome devil there. What the hell is this? Channel drawing from alien from another planet. Oh, maybe that's where all the bird representation we get from Egypt. They kind of oh, what's this? No mouth? Oh, how do you eat? Oh, what's that? That looks like the Jersey Devil. That looks like the Jersey Devil. Ashtar. Interesting. Wow. Whoa, they get trippy as they go down. What's this one? Channel drawing alien from another planet. Oh, shit. That would really suck to look like that. What are the three things? That is brain? That looks nightmarish. Oh, what's this one? Looks nightmarish too. Jesus. That might be the owl that everybody sees. This one. She's kind of good looking. Yeah. Oh, and here are the Pleiades right here. The Pleiadians. Don't you think that they're like the most evil because they're the best looking? I just get a vibe that the Palladians like look all angelic, and then they're the ones that do all the terrible stuff. Supposedly the Greys come from them. What's this one? Oh crap. That's cool looking art. I like that. Um oh wow. Somebody had a whoa. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay. If I saw that one, that looks like a Palladian had sex with a Gray. This one looks like Mars Attacks a little bit. He looks mean, but he's probably just misunderstood. He's probably like the really nice guy. This is the insect one, the Zeta Reticuli. Yeah. These are supposed to be the bad guys. That looks like John Carter and more Palladians. Yeah. They look like they came out of a 1973 like Logan's Run. But again, beautiful, angelic. I think they're the most evil. I'm just saying. Who's this guy? He's colorful. Oh, those are the David Icke, man. Those are your David Icke aliens right there. What's this one? Oh shit! Stuff of nightmares. Stuff of nightmares. Channel drawing of angel like. Oh, what's this? Drawing of Semjase meeting Billy Meyer. Well, that wouldn't suck. Wow. There's a lot. What the hell? Drawing of lion-like alien race. Dude, it's Lionel. Thundercats, ho! What's this one? That looks like heavy metal. That's cool. That's cool as hell. Good art. Weird, man. That's some weird shit. Oh, where did the chat go now? Hang on. Thanks for that. Thank you. There we go. Okay. So we were at, where were we at? There was all out of bubblegum. There's Michael Rosowski, and there's our good friend, our alien rabbi, Zvi Lebetkin, because aliens need religion too. Spirituality is a good thing. Hey, if you're catching up on email, keep mine on the radar, but maybe some sleep first. Oh, I will be getting some sleep first. Care for a jelly baby. Oh, and your avatar. I'm going to applaud you on your avatar because that is Ford Prefect. Ford Prefect, one of my favorite characters in literature. When I was young, I wanted to be Ford Prefect when I grew up. Hancock's underwater kingdoms theory is true. That is one I was pretty ignorant on till very recently, and I think it's mind-blowing how much we as humans completely ignore and stuff that's verifiable. This isn't like some woo-woo guy. Did you all know out there that there is over 200 sunken cities in the Mediterranean alone? In the Mediterranean alone, there is a bunch of cities underwater. So when were they not underwater? Because for them not to be underwater, there was no Mediterranean Sea. Now, there is a theory that the water from the Mediterranean Sea came in from the ocean, but it was millions of years ago. There was some form of tidal wave or something and flooded that plain or whatever, but that was millions of years ago. Gary, wouldn't ultra terrestrial be the better explanation rather than extraterrestrial? Well, yeah, I think that is a better description of it. I think extraterrestrial just caught on. It's the brand, kind of like Betamax and VHS. We all knew that Betamax was superior, but we went with VHS anyway. And I don't really know why. I think because whoever created it had more money, I think. Dr. Venkman for $2. Thoughts on shadow people with red eyes. Now, I haven't heard them with red eyes, Dr. Venkman, but I will bring on my friend Bill, who saw one and was so freaked out about it, he texted me about it like in the middle of the night. So, but Bill he's been sober for almost 3 decades. So he's kind of like a sober Jedi. He's not the kind of guy who lies or makes up weird stories, or he's a very practical, down to earth guy. And he saw a shadow person. What I think shadow people are they are us. There is other dimensions. There is other realities. There could be another feisty fan out there. There could be another me. And the differences could just be slight. I think there are times when our realities not cross, but converge, because I think they're bubbles. Or another theory I've been playing around with is we travel these alternate realities. So it's not like us just stuck in one, that we sometimes shift. And it's not physical. It's more of our spirit, maybe. Again, theory I came up with on acid, but it sounded good at the time. JC, casual UFO guy here, but I bet aliens would be traveling in a fourth spatial dimension, which is why they defy physics. Love the show. Thanks. You're welcome. That's what I think too. And they did mention, JC, that there was some kind of like I don't know how to put it. There was something around the ship that made it look like it was vibrating. So imagine heat waves. It was like surrounded by heat waves. So like it had some kind of field around it, or it could be very much like in another dimension, but here in a pocket. It creates its own little pocket and travels through our space. Why not? If they can travel millions of light years, my bet, here's what I think it is. I think they are drones, probes, and I think if aliens were here, they're in our oceans because they're not going to get effed with down there. If they can travel through, light years of space, they can go deep into our oceans where we will never get near them. And they could have bases down there for all we know, and we would never know. Did you see the latest Secure Team 10 video where they have found a giant, again, this is scientists, this isn't just woo-woo here. Scientists have found a giant metal anomaly at the base of one of the craters. The standing theory is that it might have been a meteor that impacted and then impacted itself into the crust, but it's huge. Or it was molten lava that has been there for billions of years and just turned into metal, which it could be too. But the moon is not volcanic, so not anymore anyway. So that it's interesting that popped up, but there is a giant metal anomaly just beneath the surface. Oh, and it goes down like 130 some odd miles into the crust. Very interesting. And then of course, there's all the theories that the moon is hollow and stuff like that. But let's get back to the chat here. It's a battle star. That's no space. That's no planet. That's a space station. That's no moon. I have a friend whose family encountered shadow people with red eyes back in the 70s and 80s. I thought they were crazy until I heard the exact same description on Art Bell years later. Yes, unknown user. I don't remember the red eyes, but that could have been there, and I'm just not remembering it. And which is a definite possibility. But I remember when Art started bringing up shadow people and he was really hesitant to do it. Do you remember that? Like, he's like, I've known about these things for years and I didn't want to talk about them. But then people like for some reason the sightings of shadow people like ramped up in the late 90s. So either people just weren't talking about them or or it just started happening. I don't know. Again, I'll ask, when did CERN fire up? That's the question. I think that question can actually be an answer for a lot of things. All out of bubblegum, $10. I was staying in my house by myself when I started hearing footsteps in the hallway. Saw a shadow block out the hallway light, and it was looking right at me. The family was having issues at the time. Now, was it just like a silhouette, like a shadow, or could you see like eyes? Because that's creepy, dude. That's creepy. You were all out of bubblegum right there. Probably peed your pants too. Um, the moon is Jackie Gleason and it's made of cheese. I knew that already. Duh. Silhouetted animator, $5. What we could consider demons, i.e., shadow people, could be beings beyond our comprehension, which, yeah, or too much DMT, but I still think the former is possible. Um, the thing I'll give DMT that I've never taken is there have been independent, like people experience the same things. Uh that's weird. Okay, so as a person who's taken a lot of drugs, I've the one thing about acid is it's always best if taken with friends you are extremely comfortable with, who you trust. But it's very important that you take it with friends and you do not take it alone. But we never shared experiences. We never shared hallucinations. And actually on acid, you're not supposed to hallucinate. Now you can when there's too much strychnine in the acid. And yes, there's strychnine in the acid they were making back in the 80s. I don't know about now, but it's an element of it. And it's shrooms you hallucinate on. Acid is more of a feeling. But we don't you share the same high, but you don't share experiences. And according to the people who've taken DMT, who I've listened to, which is all of two, Joe Rogan and Graham Hancock, they talk about seeing the same things, which is weird. That's weird. Dang it, YouTube, I didn't get notified while working my graveyard shift. I blame trees. They're everywhere here in Oregon. Curse you, trees. Cold fusion waffles. Well, let's cue the Rush song. There is trouble in the forest. Dun, 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 dun. I love that song, by the way. Most exo thing to happen to me every once in a while, whatever I just threw in the trash gets thrown back out. It says Iron Man. Well, Iron Man, that's weird. Maybe there's something in your trash can. There's a little Oscar the Grouch. You have an Oscar the Grouch. What do you mean Rush? You're asking Rush? I like Rush. Yes, I like the band Rush a lot. I am a former drummer, and it's kind of a law, even if you're a punk rock drummer, that you have to like Neil Peart. Raccoons, we have tons of them here, Dr. Beast Hunter. Oh, and they're big. They're big mamas and daddies. I was on the phone when I noticed the live stream. Yes, bear. Blue Oyster Cult. I like Blue Oyster Cult. Listen, Brad King Tut. I was listening to Veteran of the Psychic Wars today at the gym on the heavy metal soundtrack, which is the single best song describing the hell that is drug addiction. So if you ever want one song that is the perfect description of the hell of drug addiction, it is a Veteran of the Psychic Wars by Blue Oyster Cult. It is on the heavy metal soundtrack. Don't Let These Shakes Go On. Very, very good song. Do you believe in Corey Good? No. FP Sony? No, not at all. Not one bit. He's telling stories. He's telling yarns. He is in my opinion, a snake oil salesman. And he does the movement no good. People like that, He's certainly free to say what he wants on whatever platform he wants, and I am free to not believe a word he says. I believe a lot of stuff. Not that. Cleve Bourbon loves Rush. Yes, I love Rush too. I'm not really big on their later stuff, but their early stuff was amazing. And Geddy Lee. And see, I turned into a bass player, and of course, then I was supposed to like Geddy Lee, who's one of the best rock bass players. Him and Chris Squire, John Paul Jones, and of course, the great John Entwistle, who was the living embodiment of never take up cocaine again in your 60s. How are you on a parallel worlds, please? If you watch Lost Heroes of the Golden Age, episode 13, about the origin of Batman, it covers original novels on parallel worlds, AI, and the internet. First Contact 2, and Zorro, says Peter Davison. I will have to watch that. Lost Heroes of the Golden Age, episode 13. I'm going to note that down, buddy. Well, we could be living in the DC universe, and we're just on multiple Earths. So there's like Kingdom Come, feisty fan out there, and she wears armor all the time because she's feisty. I have taken DMT many times. Oh, Loquacious Primate. Yeah, I'm not surprised, buddy. I have taken DMT many times, and I never shared any of the fabled experience, but it's a unique psychedelic. It's a unique psychedelic, though similar to LSD and psilocybin, shrooms. Interesting. Well, if it's similar, and it's similar, is it better? I mean, why would you want to? Well, DMT is not. I'm thinking ayahuasca. I always get them mixed up. So I was talking about ayahuasca. Loquacious Primate, my bad. Yeah, DMT, if it's similar to LSD, what makes it different? Other than probably being, is it harder to get or easier to get? Like LSD is freaking easy to get around here, apparently. So, Silhouette Animator, $5. Wasn't trying to discredit anyone's story with DMT quip, but yeah, shadow people have been interpreted as demons throughout history. Oh, I didn't take it as disrespecting DMT. It's fine. Whoa. Did my camera go off? Logitech updater quit unexpectedly. Is my camera still on? Hang on. That's weird. No, it's still on. I'm still here. I just got a little warning saying the Logitech. Nothing works with Macs anymore because they're stupid. So I have a Logitech Brio, which is a damn good camera, but it doesn't really. I got to get rid of my Mac, which means I have this. There's an editing program called ScreenFlow, which I love because it's just simple. It's totally simple. And now I'm trained on Final Cut Pro and Premiere and on all kinds of stuff. So I'm gonna have to go back to Premiere, I guess, which I can do fancier things with my video, but I don't really care. Peter Davison says, welcome for Australian $20 and 2 Australian $20 donations. Thank you so much, Peter. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be hanging up my guys here pretty soon on the ceiling. So did I tell you, Prince Namor is going to be riding one of these, and Captain America is going to be riding one of these, and the Thing. They'll be hanging from my ceiling. I'm redoing my office. My office is a goddamn mess right now. You can't tell because I tried to keep the area like I'm blocking most of it, but there's shit everywhere. It looks terrible. But yeah, if I back up, you still can't see it. There's stuff on the floor. You see my junky bass guitar that was playing today. I try to learn something every day, and I recently learned the theme to the Munsters. And I started playing the theme to the Munsters. For some reason, I wanted to learn it on bass. Took me a couple seconds, but I figured it out. All right. DaVinci Resolve. Yeah. What kind of mic do you use? This is a Rode Podcaster. It's USB. So I bought it before I was like, when it was just kind of a serious hobby and not a job. When I get my new machine, I'm going to get a Rode with an XLR connection and get a soundboard and all that stuff. But I'm not going to upgrade too much. I mean, I got to 100K subs on a $109 camera, and the microphone's still pretty expensive. I think it's $150. But if you are starting out, this is really the best one. It sounds the best, and it just has a USB connection, and it's simple as hell. It does everything for you need to do. You don't need to set anything up. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Definitely get one of these. Took me a long time to figure out get one of these. Am I still blurry? You said, hang on. Sorry about that. I'm not blurry anymore. Okay. DMT, when smoked, has a short duration, means you don't have to set aside 6 hours to trip. Oh, I want to do that though. If I'm going to trip, man, I would set around my day. It's very intense because it comes on quickly, but the peak, like other psychedelics, tryptamines, how's that come down though? Because the come down on acid is brutal. I'm trying to get into the Orville, but Seth MacFarlane is so annoying, says Annette Louise. Yeah. So I'm making a video for Jeremy that's going to be out on Wednesday. And that's going to be one of the things I talk about, especially since I'm making a video for his audience. I got to talk about, there is a little bit of like, it's very minor. I wouldn't call it wokeness, but progressiveness that might annoy some people. I think it's told in a very good way that doesn't bother me personally. But I didn't like Seth MacFarlane at all. I'm not a Family Guy fan or anything, but I like this show. So yeah, but if you can't get over that, then yeah, if you don't like Star Trek and you don't like Seth MacFarlane, it's going to be a pretty big hurdle. But it gets better in season 2 because they cut down on the humor quite a bit and become more of a serious show. But I love it. I love it. How did I'm going to listen to the review, the Good Omens review, Kaylee, later with Comics Division. I hope that went well. I'm glad you two kids got together. That was pretty cool. It's 4:42 a.m. in Florida. Jesus. Yeah, oh God. Yeah, it's late. I got to get going. So we're going to cut this one off because I do need to get some sleep. I have to work on a video for Jeremy tomorrow. And oh yeah, there's tomorrow's Wednesday, right? So there's a nooner tomorrow as well. I might push it a little later if I have to sleep in, but it's so bloody hot here, man. It's brutal. So yeah, Star Trek people produce the Orville. Larry, they do. And I love the Orville. Season 2 of the Orville is more serious like TNG. It certainly is. And it is much better than Star Trek Discovery. That is sure. Seriously, Blue Lotus is awesome. You need to try it. What's a Blue Lotus? Is that like a type of acid thing? Well, I'm sober now. I don't do any of that stuff. I reserve the right to, like, if I'm 80, I'll probably, take up drinking and drop some acid when I'm in my old age. If I make it to 80, I've been pretty rough on my body though. So I chances of me making it to 80 are slim to none, which is kind of, wow. That's reality hitting you in the face. It's like, I've got less life ahead. I got more life behind me than ahead of me. So live it to the fullest. Trip to the bathroom with diarrhea is better than Star Trek Discovery. Sir Retsum, yes, because at least you lose weight. You lose, funniest thing that reminds me is, the ladies in the salon, they see the funniest shit. So when they get a stomach flu, one of Melissa's clients sat down and she couldn't make her last appointment. She's all, what happened? She had, I had the most wonderful stomach flu. I lost 10 pounds. Funny shit. Um, colon cleanse is better than STD. It is because I mean it's actually good for you. Not to get too gross, but I did a liver cleanse 3 years ago. If you go back and look at my old videos, you'll see that I am 50 pounds heavier. So in late 2016, I went to my sponsor, who's a men's health doctor, and said, I want to lose weight. And he's all, I know how you can lose fast, but you gotta be tough. I'm like, I'm tough. I can do it. He's all, okay, he gave me a menu that I had to absolutely stick with. I had to call him once a day. And he said, you have to fast for 3 days. You cannot eat anything. And here's a powder that I'm going to have you drink for a liver cleanse. And I could have that powder and a drink twice a day for 3 days. Made it through that. And then the week after that, all I could eat was almonds and like kale and lettuce. And I hate kale. So I just ate lettuce with no dressing, nothing. So nothing was salt, nothing was sugar, no bread, no meat, anything. And then after the second week, he said, okay, you can start eating meat now. So I would like I would go get like steaks and eat entire steaks, but no bread, no sugar. So no bread, no sugar. And then there was salt with the meat, but that was for 2 months. Did it for 2 months, lost 50 pounds and kept it off. Have kept it off. Is it out of focus again? Well, no, now it's focused. I don't know. That might be you guys. Looks good over here. Oh, that's brilliant. Iron Man says, I lost 65 pounds after I got clean. See, getting clean is good, man. I freaking love being sober. I honestly don't miss drinking or anything. It was such a freaking holy hell. Like I God damn, I love being sober. White death equals salt and sugar. I know. I like sugar though. I do. I like gummy bears. I got a thing for gummy bears. I drink way too much coffee. That was the one thing that helped me survive it. Is he told me I could drink all the black coffee I wanted to, and that got me back on black coffee. By the way, we had 3 wonderful viewers out there and friends who sent me a shit ton of coffee. So Captain Spire and Bruce Lombardo, and but I'll have that on Toxic Mailbag tomorrow because I forgot who the third person was off the top of my head. But there must be, they call them spirit. Well, listen, spirit MFers possessed. You know, to close this out with some Exo Zone stuff. While I was on drugs, there were times I absolutely felt possessed. I was not in control at all. Like I felt like I was a passenger. And when I did a bunch of coke, I would get this feeling like, like sometimes when you feel like you're wearing a hat, but you're not, you get that little ring of sensation around your head. I don't know if any of you have ever even gotten that. Well, I used to get that sensation all the time, but it felt like hands, like over my head. Like there was something like sitting on my shoulders and like sucking my brain or something like that. And I don't know what it was. It was obviously probably from the cocaine affecting my blood flow to my brain, something scientific. I know, but like I would wake up in the morning, like I don't want to do it. And then I would do it. And I would make decisions that I didn't feel like I was a part of. And I'm not trying to absolve myself from responsibility. I was there. I was not in the driver's seat. And it's the weirdest feeling in the world. And it's not fun. Believe me, it's not fun. So glad I'm out of that for sure. All right. So I will do another one of these. I have it scheduled on the website, nerdrotic.com, for Saturday during the day. So we'll do this during the day and we'll talk about unidentified and aliens, ancient aliens. And we'll do this. I can't say I'm going to make every Saturday, but I'm going to try. I also have the AM Nooners on Patreon. Obviously, tomorrow's is going to be late again because I'm up until 2 a.m. and I'm not going to do one in 6 hours. I'll probably be asleep. So it'll probably be like 9 or 10. But if you're a member of the Patreon for as little as $1, you get a daily half-hour nooner, and it's me sitting down, going over the news and figuring out what video. Funny thing is, I figured out like 4 videos today, and then I ended up doing something completely different, but those are on the docket. There's a very controversial Doctor Who subject out there that I'm not going to touch with a 10-foot pole. Just not going to touch it. It's not worth it. It's too much trouble. Yeah. A couple of YouTubers have done videos on it, and yeah, I don't need it. They've said my piece. Peter Davison, $10. I stepped off a tram on a double tram line. No tram overtook me going past me over, nor could it catch up behind us if it could. Yet there behind me was the old tram. Weird. See, weird stuff happens all the time. Dimensional shifts, maybe. Oh, thank you, Silhouetted Animator, for the $2. You didn't have to give me $2 for that. Blue Lotus is an Egyptian dream flower. Oh, see, these are things, again, I want to try when I'm 80. I think if I make it to 80, clean and sober, and I'm sitting there in my wheelchair, being grumpy and old and complaining about Captain Marvel, the third Captain Marvel remake, where it's actually back to being a man. It's an actual man playing it, and I'm complaining about it to all the people at the old folks' home while I'm playing chess badly, or better yet, I'm playing checkers with chess pieces. That's me when I'm 80. It's going to be me and Mahler, and it's going to be me and Mahler and Word of Wolf because he's younger. So he'll be like in his 60s, but he's going to be losing it because he was on YouTube too much. It'll be me, Mahler, and Jeremy. And me and Mahler will be playing checkers with chess pieces, and we'll be doing EFAPs in our 80s and with colostomy bags. Just kidding. Mahler, what the fuck are you doing here, man? We have so many guests to get on, not to mention repeat guests. It's a nightmare to figure it all out. Got to get Gary on some point too. Yeah, totally. But in the meantime, you are welcome to join me tomorrow if you want. If you're not doing anything, I got my nooner at 12. If you want to come on, I'll send you a link. If you can make it, cool. If you can't, cool. No obligation. But this one I am peacing out because I'm gonna go have a Blue Lotus dream without the Blue Lotus flower. Maybe I'll make contact. Tonight. I know you're here. I saw you. I saw you. But I mention you all the time. On Twitter, yes. I might be able to send me a link for sure. Also, I DM'd you a thingy. Oh, okay. I won't tell here. Well, I'll look at it after the live stream. Justin Bieber wants to fight Tom Cruise. I want to beat the shit out of them both. Can I do that? I mean, legally for charity. I'll tie one hand behind my back. Jeebus, you're up late. So yes, Disabled Llama, I'm up late and I'm going to bed. So Mahler, everybody subscribe to Mahler, one of the best YouTubers on the planet. Yeah. And people copy you. You know that, right? I'm sure you know that. Like people, well, they don't copy you, but they pay homage. I don't want to say copy. That's kind of harsh. No, they pay homage. I think that's pretty cool. You've kind of made it when people like try to title their videos like you, but out of respect, out of complete respect. When I get my first paycheck from my new job, I will make it rain super chats. Well, loquacious primate, that is a great sentiment, but you do not have to. But I greatly appreciate it. Make sure to, of course, get yourself some DMT and pay the bills first. But you are a loquacious primate. You do need to do your deep thinking. Kelly is Cinema Queen's birthday. Happy birthday, Kelly. Did I miss that? I'm sorry. I'm a terrible, terrible YouTuber. Tara Thralls in the chat made you some merch, Gary. She did. Tara, did you make me some merch? Did you send it to me via email or DM me on Twitter? I'll look at it. Oh, well, look at that. There we go. Okay. I will check it out. Tara, if you're in there, thank you. That is unbelievable. I love that so much. All right, everybody, have a great night. Thank you all for being here so late. And Uber Bieber, I know. And we will discuss the weird and wonderful next week, next Saturday, when we cover unidentified and ancient aliens. And I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to possibly get an interview with Giorgio. No, Giorgio. He's going to be busy next week because I think a week or two, Alien Con is in LA, but I'll try to hit him up after that. In the meantime, be cool. And remember, we do not kneel. Ciao.